Hello. Welcome everyone. The first lecture, or let's say the first official lecture video of this YouTube channel. I'm really excited. I hope you are too. This is going to be the first lecture, and the first time we'll be learning something. We had one more video before this, which was introduction to what we're going to learn in our beginners lesson. But in this particular lecture, we will be starting on. So for everyone who is actually very new, this lecture is for them. If you know what the ribbon is, and how can we actually customize the ribbon, and what are some of the options that we need to use while we're working with ribbons, then you can skip the video entirely. Although I believe that every individual who is learning Excel from us, they should at least see the first 3 to 4 videos in which we're brushing up the basics. Because most of the time when we say the way basics is being taught specifically for data analytics, it is a little different as compared to the way that we adapt, right? We believe that there's a certain way in which we should be learning, and there's a certain points we should be very aware about, which is not taught in general. I learned it a hard way. I learned through a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of courses, through different projects, as well as books on Microsoft Excel. But this is something that I've created for myself. Moving forward, if I have to give you just about what we need to do, we'll be learning about the concept of ribbon and customizing ribbon in Microsoft Excel. Secondly, before we start learning, before I teach you anything, let's just take 30 seconds to iterate on the vision that me and my co-founder have for this YouTube channel as well. So every single individual who actually subscribes to our YouTube channel, whenever we hit 100 subscribers, or the multiple of 100, we'll be giving one free course to someone who is in need, who cannot purchase the course which is created by us for free for every 100 subscribers. So let's say if we have 1,000, education of 10 kids will be done free. This is because in the last 2 years, since we have been interacting with a lot of students, and we have been creating content, we have realized that education is not readily available for everyone, and even for us sometimes whenever we want. So there are like multiple courses which we want to join and learn from, but we are not able to. We don't want anyone in the industry to ever face this problem, so we are catering on those lines as well. So we will jump in, we'll move forward. So before learning about what ribbon is, this is the first time if you're opening Excel, there's a high possibility that this is what you will see in front of you. Now, most of the times you will see a lot of cells here, but that cannot be the case for us. So before even learning what this ribbon is, we actually need to create a worksheet here. So what we have opened right now is a workbook, and we need to add different worksheets under this so that we can keep on working. This might sound a little confusing for someone who's opening Excel for the first time, but for that I want you to go to file, right? File option is right here, and then you should go to new, and then click on a blank workbook. And now you can see a lot of things popped up in front of you. You can see so many cells, right? We'll work with all of them slowly. And then we have something like the sheet one, just the first worksheet of the entire workbook that we have. Now if you click on plus, you can add new worksheets, so the entire workbook can have multiple worksheets, as many as you want, right? So we'll start exploring with this icon. First is auto save. So it is off for me because security purpose for this particular lecture we can't have it, but it is generally said that, okay, let's assume you're working on a project for 3 hours, and suddenly your laptop crashes, your battery was low, or maybe your laptop was not in a very healthy state, and it crashed. There's a possibility that the data that you have in your Excel sheet on which you were working on can be lost. So to protect yourself from that and not irritate yourself by saving whatever you have done every 5 minutes, it's always believed to actually autosave. So for someone who is extremely new to this and who doesn't even know what saving is, so let's say I've written something on Excel. Let's say I've written my name Dhruv here, right? And when I will be working on this entire file, if sometime in future I want to refer to the same file and I don't want to work on it again and again, all I have to do is just go and open the saved file, right? So it is just like if you have played GTA ever in your life, you can save the progress just the same way we can save the file with a particular name. So initially, once you will open the file, book one will be the name which will be given to your Excel file. So we can see this is the name that is given to the file. This is quick access toolbar which you can change. This is for save if I want to just save directly. This is undo. We will go one step back, right? This is redo. We can go one step ahead. This is relationships, and then we have customize access toolbar. We'll work on this. We have a search bar. Search bar is for things we really want to get done without even searching for it. So what do I mean without even searching for it? Sometimes we know what operation we need to do, but we don't remember what is the tab where we are actually going to find it. So all of these functions are under each tab, right? But what if we know what function do we need to do and we don't know what exactly is the name of the tab that we have to search for? So we can just search for the particular function directly here. So you can see whatever you write, it's actually going to come here. And then if I click OK here and close it for now, then minimize, then we have restore down button, and then we have the close button. Forget about that. This is the main agenda of this particular chapter, right? This is known as the ribbon. Okay, so in the first chapter, as we're covering the basics, this is one of the most important part. First is file, right? So under file, if you click here, you can see you can go to home, which is this particular interface. You will always land up at home. You can create a new file by clicking here. You can open the files that you have worked on before this. You can share the file with someone. You can get add-ins. Now, what is add-in? Just like how sometimes you actually add new items in, let's say, the same game GTA 5. GTA 5 will actually have a simple package, but let's say you want to do something more which is beyond the capability of current file. What you will do, you will actually add something or integrate your GTA 5 game with an additional support. Let's say it can be cheat codes, it can be anything. Those things are known as add-ins, right? So just like that, Excel is also having a lot of functions already, but sometimes to make the software very, very light, we don't necessarily need to have all the functions inbuilt inside Excel, and that's why we can add whatever function you really want to, which is beyond the scope of Excel. Although for the beginners intermediate level, I believe 99% of the functions that we are going to use will be a part of our Excel workbook already. We don't need to do anything. So we have information regarding the software. We can save it with the same name that we have. If you're saving it, it will get saved to the location that you can find on information bar with the book one name. Save as will actually change. You will let you decide what name you want. You can print it, you can export it and close. I'm not going to explain all of these options because most of them are like self-explanatory, although get add-ins was something I could have emphasized on. Then we have the account option, and then we have the options option. Now we will come back to this again after some time. Secondly, all of these, let's say home, name list, row, insert, page layout, formulas, data, review, view, automate, developer, help, I'll call all of them as tabs. So the first time you're actually going to open all of these a worksheet, all of these tabs might not be same for you. You might not have, you will not have the row tab, right? You might not have automate and developer tab as well. These are some of the tabs which we can enable, and we'll be working on how we can enable. But for now, we are not going to understand what are the contents that we see under this, but we are just going to understand what ribbon is, because function is something that I will be teaching you after this. So just remember, these are tabs, right? These headers are known as tabs, and under each tab we have something known as group. So clipboard is a group, font is a group, alignment is a group, number is a group, styles is a group, and cells is a group, right? So and so on up to, of course. So that would be it for the ribbon section, right? I cover this as I say this is, ribbon. This, this place which says cell B2, this is known as the name box, right? And after that we have the formula bar, right? So I'll explain both of them. So if I'm standing here on, let's say, cell A1, you can see the name of the cell as, cell A1. This means we are in column A. These are known as columns, which are vertical, and the horizontal ones are known as rows. So if I'm going to row 1, I can only select one particular column. I can't have A, B both, right? That's why I'm really sorry. That's why for each particular cell we have given a name, and it is column name and then cell name. This one thing that is that is to be noted with these name tags. The number of columns that we have in our Excel sheet, as well as the number of rows that we have in our Excel sheet, is actually limited. It is not infinite, right? So you can't just keep, oh, okay, it might seem like it is a lot anyway, so that we can assume that it's infinite, but that's not the case always. So you can see for the number of rows, we only have 1,48,576 rows, and columns, it is only till XFD. So what is XFD? How does ABCD change into XFD? If I'll scroll here, you can see after Z it will be AA. So series A and number A will start, then A, B, A, C, and so on up to. And once we hit AZ, the same thing is going to start with B, B, A, B, 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 C. That's how we have so many number of columns, right? And for this particular column, let's say BC, the name will be BC1, right? Second thing, a major difference that you need to understand while working with Excel, whenever you go for a particular, yes, I will be giving you examples when you need to know exactly what is one important thing that you should know, as if you're applying for an analyst position in a particular company. It can be any company. So when I went for a particular interview, I remember the first question which was asked to me by looking at my resume: you are good at data analytics? Like, yes. They asked me for some projects, and the first question they asked me was, the employer, or let's say the client who you are working with, has given you a data file, and the data file is, you are not able to open the data file, and the same problem is with the client has asked you to open the data file, and the problem that he is facing is the file contains 10 million rows, right? And if we see this problem, this is very common problem, and basically they want to judge how strong your fundamentals are in Microsoft Excel, right? So we can always say, if that is not possible, because we have a restriction to open only 1,48,576 rows, we can open till then, but it will keep on crashing, right? We'll not be able to open the entire Excel file altogether. But what is the way around? How do we actually use it? We actually do something known as Power Query, or we use something known as Python as a coding. We can do it in R also. There are so many coding languages, but Python and R are two languages which are majorly used for data analytics. So we can use that option, right, to solve this issue where the number of rows is also differentiated. So another blunder that most of the people do when they are teaching someone, that is the difference between the formula bar as well as let's say cell B2, or any other cell in our worksheet. I'm just saying a random example of cell B2. See, in cell in this particular formula bar, we are always going to see the input, right? And in each cell we are going to see the output. That's like the major difference. So most of the time in interviews, whenever asked what is being displayed in formula bar and what is being displayed in a particular cell, they always say whatever value is there in that one cell we are focusing on will be displayed on the formula bar. But that's not the case. I will explain what is the meaning of this. So let's say if I'm writing Dhruv here, right, and you can see on the formula bar the same information is being shown, but the same information is being shown because my input is equal to my output, right? I gave input as Dhruv, that I want to display Dhruv in a particular cell, and Dhruv came into picture. So whenever we have any text value before anything, so I just wrote it. Let's say I am writing 1 2 4 5. This is a numeric value. If I'm not using an equal to sign, then everything will whatever we are writing inside a particular cell will be shown directly, right? But once we are using an equal to sign, we are telling Excel that, okay, listen up buddy, the next thing that you are going to witness is a formula, right? So if let's say, I'll give you an example where I'm actually I wrote equal to sign, now it becomes a formula, and I'm giving the reference of cell C2. You can see cell C2, and I want to divide it with, let's say, 10. Now 1254 divided by 10 will be 125.4, right? So in this particular scenario, we can easily see that input is actually different as compared to the output. We gave input that divides C2 by 10, right? That is the major difference between a cell and a formula bar. And if we actually have to customize our ribbon, all we have to do is go to file, and we have to go to options. You can go to customize ribbon, right? And once you are in customize ribbon, you can see the name of all the tabs will be displayed here, and under each tab there will be groups, and once we click here we can see subgroups as well, right? So this is one thing that you need to see. Home, Dhruv, the custom group that I've created. So let's say I want to add, let's say, a new tab, right? And I clicked on a new tab, and let's say I want to rename it. I renamed it as, let's say, the root experts, and then we have the group. Let's say I'll write, okay, I need to click on rename again, and then I have to assign a symbol. Let's say I want to assign a smiley with the kid on, and then if I have to say, let's say I'm writing, let's say, happy, okay, any random name. So most of the times what we are going to follow in this particular lecture series is a terminology where we are actually going to create a tab and a group inside, and we are actually going to add some of the functions we will be using very, very frequently. So while we are working through the entire course, you will see that, okay, we have worked with this particular function, we have worked with this particular function also. We'll add it in our tab with the name the root experts. You can use whatever name you feel right with. You can add whatever group you feel right with, and we'll add the function there, so we don't actually have to go to any other tab from these all, and we can directly refer to our entire tab. And how do we add any function in this? Let's say I'm clicking on decrease font size, and add option will be enabled. So if I'm going to, let's say, the root experts, then this option will not be there, right? So if I'm going to, let's say, happy, and I'm clicking on decrease font size, you can see I can add a function under the root expert, that is happy, and a decrease font size. Let's say I want to delete sheet rows, I can choose any option, right? You can just directly go ahead and do it. And then once we click on OK, you can see a new tab with the name the root experts came into picture with the group name as happy, and we have some functions here. So that would be it for this particular lecture. I hope you really liked the entire series. Please let me know how what was the impression, and if you have any doubts you can comment, or you can go to the YouTube channel. First of all, subscribe, like and share it with your friends, and second, you can find the mail ID where you can send us any doubts, and we'll be happy to assist it. Our team will reply to you as soon as possible with whatever doubt you have in your Microsoft Excel, right? Most of the times you might not be, because we get a lot of mails, but nevertheless that's the case. So that would be it from my end. Thank you so much for joining, everyone.